Welcome to Life on Mars. It's 3 o'clock and it's time for a teachable moment. It's time for a teachable moment today. I can't wait. So, I want to talk for a second about lying, and I want to talk a lot about lying, actually. I want to talk about the benefits of lying. Hey, everybody, welcome. I want to talk about the benefits of lying, and I want to talk about the damage that you do by lying. But I'm going to talk about it from a completely different perspective than what you're probably expecting me to talk about. So, hey, Reed. Hey, Justin, Jen, Timmy, Reggie. I want to talk about the biggest lie we tell. The biggest lie that we tell. And I want to talk about it from a personal ownership perspective. So what do I mean by that? First of all, let me tell you what the lie is. There's different variations of it, but all means the same thing. So the biggest lie that we tell is, I don't want nothing out of it. I don't want nothing from it. I don't want nothing from you. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a complete and utter lie, and you know you lying when you tell it. But yet and still, and I just had this conversation with one of my clients. That's kind of what prompted this. So, you know that when you do something for someone, that involves effort on your part, right? And so I just finished my latest book, Surviving the Rain to Find the Rainbow. And one of the things that I talk about is different types of investments. And one of the investments is time. Another investment is emotion. And then there's spiritual and social. But anyway, so whatever you do, an effort is a form of investment. Now, it might be a time investment in you giving your time. It might be an emotional investment in that you're giving of your heart, your feelings, your emotions. But whatever you do, whenever you make an investment of any sort, the goal of an investment is to get a return on that. And so to get a return means you do want something out of it. So stop lying and saying that you don't. It's okay to want something out of it. It's okay to want a great life. It's okay to want happiness. It's okay to want love. It's okay to want respect. But admit and own that you put forth the effort, because true enough, you want something out of it. It doesn't have to be a bad thing that you want out of it. It's not even a negative thing that you want something out of it. We live in a society where people are afraid to want something for themselves. What? You have to want something for yourself. If you don't want something more for yourself, who's going to want something more for you? And so I was, and like I said, I talked to a client, and she's like, well, she's upset about something that she did for someone. And, she's going on and on and on for about 5 minutes about how she did this, and this, and this for this person. And she just did it out of the goodness of her heart. I didn't want nothing out of it. And I had to tell her, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Now, it might have been minimal things. It might not have been a financial return. It might not have been something physical or something tangible, but you absolutely wanted something out of it. That's why you're pissed that you didn't get anything out of it. When you truly give something and want absolutely nothing in return, which I don't even think is possible. I'm trying to think, what could that be that you could give and not want anything in return? And so when I talk about these returns, I'm talking about sometimes it might be you just want attention. It could be you want love. It could be you want affection. It could be you want respect. It could be you want recognition. It could be acknowledgement. It could be anything. It could be friendship. It could be sex. Be honest. If that's what you want going in, if that's what fills your cup, it might be that you need a place to stay. It might need that mean that you need money. It might mean you just want to be appreciated. It might mean you want adoration. It might mean that you want you just want to feel good. But everybody wants something out of any investment that they make. And so my point is to stop lying about why you're doing something and then complaining on the backside when you didn't get what you supposedly didn't want to begin with. And so it was a difficult conversation that I had to have with her. But, you know, one of the things we talk about, or I talk about all the time, is that personal ownership piece. And you got to own your stuff. You got to own it. So if you won't even admit that you wanted something out of this investment or out of this effort, then how is the other person supposed to know what to deliver? So it's like when you take somebody to let's say somebody wants a ride. I'm gonna use the riding to the airport, because I'm telling you what, taking people to the airport can be so stressful. So you go to give your friend calls you and says, I want to ride to the airport. And so you give them the ride to the airport. You know you was low on gas when you got in the car. But you offered to do it. Okay. No, don't worry about it, girl. No, don't call no Uber. I'll take you. You take her to the airport. She gets on her plane. Deuces. And now you pissed because she didn't offer you no gas money. She didn't offer you no gas money because you didn't tell her you needed some. So you did want something in return. You weren't doing it out of the goodness of your heart per se. If nothing else, you wanted a thank you. Maybe you wanted gas money. But the point is, absolutely, Odinga, unstated expectations. People cannot deliver what they don't know you need. You have to be the voice for yourself. You have to advocate for what you need. You have to advocate for what you want. And it's okay. It's okay. But own it. Say, hell yeah, I wanted something out of that. I'm not doing this for nothing. It doesn't mean I'm doing it for money. It doesn't even mean I'm doing it for selfish purposes. Take volunteering, for example. I volunteer because I want something out of it. What do I want out of it? It depends on what I'm volunteering for. If I'm volunteering for something that may help my business, it might be because I want to get exposure. If I'm volunteering for something with kids, that fills my cup. But I want something out of it. I want to, maybe I do something just because I just want to have fun. And it sounds like it's going to be something fun. But as long as I know going in what I want out of it, then I won't ever be disappointed, because I'll be able to go in with realistic expectations on myself, not of other people. And other people will continue to let you down if you do not communicate your needs. There's a whole chapter in the new book about communication and the importance of being able to communicate to them what roles and responsibilities they have based on the title that you've given them. And you know, I was trying to explain to her today, like, you are sitting here for 7.5 minutes until we got a 30-minute call, and you have just wasted 7.5 minutes of a 30-minute call complaining about somebody else. So you paid me to listen to you complain about somebody else because you didn't advocate your needs. That doesn't really make sense to me. That's a bad investment. It's a bad investment of your time. It was a bad investment of your money. Like, what are you getting out of it now? So we had to have a really uncomfortable conversation. She said to me, you don't understand, Marcy. You don't understand. Oh, I absolutely understand. Absolutely, I understand. I understand that you made a poor choice. You did something you didn't truly want to do. Let's see. Not true. I'm reading a comment. I do things for people because I want to and I'm able to. It's not about expecting something back. It's about doing stuff for people. But when you are in the same or worse position, when you are in the same or worse position, go unanswered. I understand what you're saying, but I've had to cut plenty of people off because not what I expected back, but because of what I've done is expected or looked at as not very important. Okay, so let's talk about that. I think if I understand your comment, what you're saying is that you truly feel that you do it out of the goodness of your heart, but then when you need something, they're not there for you. That's your expectation. So while you're giving, I get what you're saying. You're giving because that's what you wanted to do and you recognize that that's your choice. But you get disappointed on the backside because they haven't given anything when you need it. And that's my point. So you had an expectation that based on, let's talk about roles and responsibilities. So this is from the new book. Talking about roles and responsibilities. So this is your friend. You do something because you're able to, you have the resources to, you have the ability to. And you do that, quote, quote, out of the goodness of your heart. Got you. But you fall on hard times. You're not getting what you need, or you need, let's say you just need a ride somewhere. And then you call all these people that you've done all these things for out of the goodness of your heart. Nobody's there for you. Now you're mad. Well, you're mad because you did have an expectation that based on this role of friend, that they would be there for you like you have been there for them. And people, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like you're always going to come up short. You're always going to be disappointed because you can't expect people to operate in the same capacity that you operate in. And that's where the disappointment comes in. And so to be honest with yourself, and that's what this is all about, being honest with yourself. Like, I expect that if I'm a friend to you, you're going to be a friend to me. But my perception of what a friend does and what a friend is may be very different from yours. So we haven't had that conversation, then we're operating on a level of miscommunication. So until we talk about what does friendship mean to you, what does friendship mean to me, and what does that reciprocation look like, then we're open for miscommunications and frustration. Let me see, Odinga, I believe everyone does things for something in return something is desired. I absolutely agree with that. That's the whole point. Like, it's not self-centered to want something for yourself. You know, we grow up in this society where somewhere along the line, somebody told us that it's wrong to want to be great. Somebody told us that it's wrong to want to be happy. Somebody told us it's wrong to do things that feed us. It's not. That's why we're walking around grumpy. That's why people out there shooting stuff up, because of miscommunication, because their needs aren't being met. But have you advocated for your needs? Have you told the friend that you took to the airport, you know what, girl, I don't mind taking you, but can you slide me $5 for gas? That's how you advocate. You got to put the expectation out there. And you know, you find out to the comment that I was reading earlier from Dosey, is it Dosey? You have to put it out there that this is the kind of friend I am, and these are the kind of friends that I want. And it's not a bad thing, but don't go into it with blinders on, saying that I only did this out of the goodness of my heart, and then you're mad about something on the backside. You don't get to do that, because it's your obligation to yourself to advocate for your needs and to be honest about what you want out of it. Let's see. I understand what you're saying, but it's not an expectation if you don't know the help would be needed. It's not that you know that the help would be needed. It's that your expectation. So I'll go into real quick the segment in the book. It's talking about roles and responsibilities and the need for communication in relationships. And so you're right. It's not about the actual specific need. It's about, based on what title I've given you and what title you've given me, what expectations come along with that. And so it's about looking at those roles and responsibilities and being very clear, because the roles and responsibilities of a title. So let's use the title of friend. Let's just stick with friend. Based on my my life experiences and my own personal needs, I have an idea or a picture in my mind of what a friend is and what a friend does and what responsibilities go along with being my friend and what responsibilities I have to you as your friend. In return, I've decided, let's assume that I've told you and we've communicated and we've come to agreement that we are friends. Then based on your life experiences, your needs, you have a frame of, in your mind, what does a friend look like? Now, if we don't ever talk about those, my idea of a friend might be, I just hit you up when I want to go out and do something, but I don't check in. I don't, we don't just hang out casually, that sort of thing. But your idea might be that friends check on each other. Friends do a lot of stuff together. Friends are always hanging out. Like, I should be your go-to person. Like, every time you go do. Well, then when I don't respond that way, but it's not because you're not my friend. It's because we have a different understanding of what the roles and responsibilities of being a friend means, because we never talked about it. Versus, and they're uncomfortable conversations. And I'm not saying they can be uncomfortable. I'm not suggesting that every time you meet somebody, be like, hey, so if we're going to be friends, this is what I expect, this is what you expect. It's not realistic. But you do have to be very clear in your communication as far as where your boundaries are and where your boundaries look like. For me, my friends know I'm very particular with my time. Very particular with my time. I'm very selfish with my time. So for me, that's one of my boundaries. And so my friends know, if I don't answer the phone, don't take it personal. I'm investing in me. I'll call you back eventually. And they also know that if they text me and they're in need, I'm gonna be right there. And so those are things that we've laid out and we've worked out and we've ironed out over time. But when something falls short, that's when you need to pause, and instead of getting mad, have the conversation. And first of all, ask yourself, did I communicate what my needs were to this individual? And if I didn't, then boom, I need to stop right there, and we need to have that conversation now, before this blows up into something that it doesn't have to. Like, my client was ready to end a friendship basically over something that she never really communicated that she expected or she needed. Well, if you haven't done that, then maybe it's not your friend, maybe it's you. And so, right, Melanie, take a step back. That's all you have to do, is just take a step back and own your choices and your decisions, and realize that no matter what we do, everything we do, we want something out of it. Like I said, it could just be respect. It might just be a thank you. There might not be any back-end expectations, but you wanted something out of it. You wanted to feel appreciated. You wanted to feel respected. You might have wanted to feel admired. You might have wanted attention. You might have wanted love. Whatever the case may be, there was something there that prompted you to act, to make an effort. That effort is an investment, and everybody wants a return on their investment. So all I'm saying is, stop lying about you didn't want nothing out of it. You didn't want anything in return. We all want something in return, and that's okay. Like, be okay with wanting an awesome life. That's all right. You don't have to apologize for that. But you do have to learn how to communicate if you expect to get it. So that's my teachable moment tonight. Good news, I finished the new book, Surviving the Rain to Find the Rainbow. So I'm working on formatting now, and then it's going to go off to the editor. So hopefully I'm going to hit my goal by end of summer. Got another client call coming up here in a couple minutes, but I did want to just drop in real quick with that teachable moment. That conversation this morning was just like, it was an aha moment for her. But as I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I invested a lot of time writing about these roles and responsibilities and those commitment and getting agreement in the new book. But clearly I didn't do a good job of communicating that with my clients. And so I need to go back, and that needs to be one of the first things that we talk about. We talk about their obligation to me as their coach and my obligation to them as my client. but then we don't talk about where their roles and responsibilities go with other people in their lives. Apparently not as early as we need to. So that was my aha moment. Respectfully disagree, but I totally understand what you're saying. Thank you, love. No problem. You know, everything's not for everybody, and we're not always gonna agree. And I love a healthy debate. So anytime, I'm glad I could be here. Thanks for joining in. But y'all have a great night. I am gonna jump off of here and get back to work. And in the meantime and in between time, thanks for living life on Mars, y'all.